Welcome into 90.5 WASU as we are set for a David versus Goliath matchup here at the Holmes Convocation Center. As the first place team in the Sun Belt, the Georgia Southern Eagles, come to Boone to play the App State Mountaineers, who have been struggling as of late. And it's going to be a big matchup where both teams are kind of matched up on paper, but Georgia Southern has, for some reason, always found a way to push over the top. I'm Will Battershell. Joining me today will be Noah Roberson. And Noah, what's the big thing about this Georgia Southern team that has allowed them to get so many wins?
Well, like you said a minute ago, Will, their way to finish games, they don't always get off to the best starts. They kind of let teams hang around a little bit, but they are able to complete full games throughout, and they have a lot of scores on this team. They don't run a particularly big lineup, especially with Destiny Garrett being 5'4", their leading scorer. And they don't run that many women, but the ones that they do run are very effective, and they're able to close games out.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Destiny Garrett, the leading scorer on this Georgia Southern team, who last game played 40 minutes. That's the whole entire basketball game, so we're going to be calling Garrett's name a lot tonight. And then for this App State side, we had some late news heading into this game. The forward, Addie Beal, is going to be out this game with a concussion. How is that going to affect the Mountaineers?
Well, first of all, prayers up to Addie Beal. She has a concussion. Hopefully she's doing all right from the last game. However, App State and Alora Sharp may have to run a smaller lineup tonight, and that means maybe just 7 women, 2 off the bench. Maybe we see a little bit of Zoe McCrary or Issa Roman. But the starters are going to have to play heavy minutes tonight, Will, and they're going to have to find a way, dig deep. They're going to be physical, slow the game down a little bit. You were saying this earlier, slowing the game down with App State's defense. They have a very good defense in the Sun Belt Conference. If they can slow down Georgia Southern, they can make it closer than some might think today.
Yeah, that's a good point, Noah. And we're going to take a look at these starting lineups as you mentioned them. For Georgia Southern, their starting lineup will be Destiny Garrett starting at the guard position, And then they are rocking with 4 forwards on the court. It's going to be Jamiria Jones, Kashaya Anderson, McKenna Eddings, and Kayla Cleveland starting for the Eagles. And then for the Mountaineers, a little bit of a different starting rotation than what we're usually used to seeing. Emma Smith starting at guard. Jada Burton's going to get the start over Emily Heggie. Fariel Defne Atla and Elena Pericic. And then Deja Mitchell. One big name that is really missing out of there, who has been dealing with a little bit of injuries, but she did play 8 minutes against JMU, is Jaden McBride. How much of McBride do you expect to see today?
I think she might get a little more burn tonight, especially because 8 minutes is a short sample size for someone coming back from a semi-lengthy injury that she had. We should expect around 10 to 12 minutes out of her, maybe even up to 14. But like we said earlier, these starters are going to have to play heavy minutes, and that's reflected in the starting lineup with this more physical defensive unit we have coming out here.
And as we're getting ready for tip-off, the Georgia Southern Eagles, as I prior mentioned, come in as the number 1 seed in the Sun Belt. They control their own destiny, but if they do lose, then Troy will be right back in it. It's a 2-person battle between Troy and Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's next game after App State will be Marshall, who they beat 76-55 in Georgia. So that's going to be something to look out for.
Yeah, this game matters a ton in terms of the standings for the Sun Belt and Georgia Southern. As for App State, fallen down the standings in the last couple of weeks, obviously a very tough record on the road, but the one thing you want going into the Sun Belt tournament is momentum, and App State has a chance to gain some momentum that they've sort of lost in the middle of the season here.
Yeah, App State losers for their last 5. The only game winner they had was on Valentine's Day against Georgia State in an OT win. So App State looking to get back into the win column. Meanwhile, on the other side, Georgia Southern, winners of their last 4, looking to continue that momentum as we get ready for tip-off. And it's going to be Georgia Southern's ball to start the game. Garrett is going to have it at the left elbow. Passes it to the top of the key. Inside the arc. Gives it back to Garrett. Garrett tries to find a lane. It's shut down by the Mountaineers. Now it's brought in by Jones. Jones goes up for the layup. And she's going to get the and one on the soft touch layup.
That is not the start you want if you're the Mountaineers, especially being down a big, already picking up a foul 20 seconds into the game here, Will.
And that foul would be on Fariel Defne Atla, who so far this season has ran into foul trouble a couple times in a few games. But today, the Mountaineers need her to stay as clean as possible. The free throw shot is up, and it's nothing but net. Makes the score 3-0. 20 seconds into the game. It's going to be Jada Burton to bring it up for the Mountaineers. Gives it to Smith. Inside to FDA. FDA looking for a pass. Stays on the pivot foot. Gives it to Burton. On the left side. Over to the top to Mitchell. Mitchell drives in. Hits a little spin move on the fadeaway, and it goes off the back iron and bounces out. Rebounded by Eddings. Georgia Southern trying to go fast. Gets it to the top of the key to Cleveland. Cleveland inside to Anderson. Anderson gives it to Jones. Jones tries to go around the screen, mishandles it. Emma Smith recovers it. Emma Smith drives into the paint, kicks it to Deja Mitchell. Deja Mitchell goes up and around and misses the layup once again.
Emma Smith had a shot there at the top of the key, wasn't comfortable with it, and just an unfortunate turn of events there.
Now it's going to be Garrett for the Eagles. Gives it to Anderson. Anderson with the 10-footer, misses it. Deja Mitchell's going to bring it up off the rebound. Gives it to Burton. Burton looking for a lane over the middle. Drives in, goes up, and gets the foul, but misses the layup. So it's going to be 2 shots for Burton.
Burton, not much of a scorer here for the App State Mountaineers, but a little bit of aggressiveness here early on in the quarter from her. Trying to just get some sort of offense going here for the Mountaineers.
Burton is shooting 74% from the free throw line this season. Her first shot is up, and it's good. 1-3 Eagles with 8:26 to play. That foul, it was going to go against Jamiria Jones. Second shot is missed, and we get a whistle. And it's going to be App State's ball. Looks like a potential out-of-bounds call on the Eagles.
I believe Jones touched it there with a foot on the line.
So App State, a chance to make a 3-point play here. Smith has it from the left of the wing. And we get another whistle. And it's going to be a foul on the Mountaineers.
Looks to be Atla, and that's her second personal foul here in less than 2 minutes to go. So Laura Sharp's going to have to go to the bench here.
Yeah, it's going to be a push on FDA. Now Georgia Southern's ball. Gives it to Anderson. Standing at the free throw line. Looking for anything. Just shoots it. Tries to get over Perchich. It does not fall. Rebounded by Deja Mitchell. Mitchell kicks it to Burton. Burton inside the paint. Just tries to go up and gets fouled once again. And that's going to be Kashaya Anderson on the foul.
That is going to be the key of the game here for the Mountaineers. Great contest by Perisic on one end. Creates a fast break for App State, and Burton right back to the free throw line, continuing to be aggressive here.
So Burton's going to get 2 more free throws. She missed her second one. She makes that one. Now makes her 2 for 3, makes the score 2 for 3 for the Eagles. With 7:53 left in the first. Burton's second shot is up, and that one is missed. Rebounded by the Mountaineers. Gets it to Burton at the top, to Perchich. Perchich looking inside to Deja Mitchell. Right outside, pushes it into the paint, goes up, and off the back iron once again, but it's rebounded by Emma Smith, and we get a whistle, and Georgia Southern's ball.
That's a late whistle on Emma Smith, but probably the correct one. Got a little bit of her hand in the cookie jar there.
App State already sitting at 3 fouls, not even 3 minutes into the game. App State going with a little bit of a full court press. Jones looking for an option, gets it to Garrett at the top. Garrett directing traffic, gives it to Anderson. Anderson looking for anything. Gets it to Eddings. Eddings back inside to Anderson. Anderson goes up, misses it. That's Riley Stoker with the defense. Now Burton drives all the way in, goes up and misses the layup. Rebounded by Jones. Georgia Southern is going fast as they're looking to set it up. It's to Cleveland at the top. Inside to Anderson and a whistle, and that's going to be a foul on Deja Mitchell.
I know Deja Mitchell just fouled there, but she played excellent defense on that last possession on Destiny Garrett, denying her to pass the ball for about a good 10 seconds there. She just have to sub out of the game, but that was great defense right there from Mitchell.
App State now at 4 fouls with 6:55 left. Jones gets it inside to Anderson. Pericic guarding Anderson, goes up for the fadeaway, and it just drops in. It's going to make it 5-2 Eagles with 6:42 left. Burton to Smith. Smith is directing traffic. We got motion all over the court. Burton from the elbow, right elbow, gives it inside to Emma Smith in the paint. Smith goes up, and we're going to get a travel, I believe, on Emma Smith.
Can't see how that could have been a personal foul. There was little contact there.
Yes, it's going to be ruled as a travel on Emma Smith.
Smith tried to take advantage of the shorter Destiny Garrett, but credit to Garrett, held her own in the paint there.
Garrett with the ball. To the right elbow. Anderson inside the paint. It's going to be Eddings. Eddings on Pericic. Kicks it outside and throws it to the App State bench. Great catch by FDA on the App State bench there.
Big time miscommunication between Anderson and Anderson. Look at that.
Now Burton with the ball. To Heggie. Gives it to Smith at the baseline. Kicks it back out, left side, Pericic. Pericic directing McBride in, gives it outside to Burton. Burton inside the paint to Emma Smith. Emma Smith on the pivot foot, goes up, misses the layup. Ball's going to go out of bounds, but she saves it, and it bounces off of Eddings, and Eddings gets the rebound. Eddings now goes from the elbow to the middle, mid-range, just up and in, no doubt. And Georgia Southern is playing their pace of basketball as they are up 7-2 with 5:28 left. And that's going to force App State's hand to call a timeout.
Yeah, the interesting game plan on offense, the last two possessions for App State. Get the ball to Emma Smith in the post, trying to post up on Destiny Garrett, and so far 0 for 2.
So far the stat book says it all. App State shooting 0% from the field on 5 shots compared to Georgia Southern's 50% on 6 shots. And that is what leads to the 7-2 lead for the Eagles. They're taking a short break, and so will we. When we come back, the Georgia Southern Eagles lead the Mountaineers 7-2 with 5:28 left in the first quarter. Welcome back to Mountaineers basketball on 90.5 WASU. The Georgia Southern Eagles lead the Mountaineers 7-2 with 5:28 left in the first. And Noah, what do the Mountaineers need to do to start having more efficient possessions?
Well, first of all, Will, this is just a 5-point game, and App State has not made a field goal in almost 5 minutes, so it could be a lot worse. What they need to do is sort of play their brand of basketball, slow it down on the offensive end, and force Georgia Southern to slow it down as well. Take shots on App State's offensive end under the 20 seconds on the shot clock and try and limit the transition. It's tough off turnovers, I understand, but try and limit them into their front court offense, or half court offense, excuse me, and try and slow the game down a little bit. Play their brand of basketball.
The Mountaineers on the court to come back out of this break will be Emily Heggie, Jada Burton, Jaden McBride, Elena Pericic, and Deja Mitchell. Georgia Southern really taking their time in this media timeout, soaking up every minute possible in their team huddle. Meanwhile, the Mountaineer 5 are already standing ready to rock.
Must have been a short conversation on the Mountaineer bench, Will.
Well, knowing Alora Sharp, when she is not happy, she is short, but she is to the point.
Absolutely.
It's going to be the Mountaineers' ball to come out of break. It's going to be Heggie with the inbound to Burton. Double team, full court on Burton, gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell drives into the paint. Hezzy step and misses the layup.
App State's been short on a lot of layups early on, which is not something you expect at the beginning of a game.
Now it's the Eagles' ball. Gives it to Anderson. Anderson goes cross court to Garrett. Garrett from the left drives into the middle. Back to the right outside from the wing. And that is backed off of the rim and pushed out of bounds. That's going to be pushed out of bounds by Leah Anderson.
It's exactly what you want to see. Slowing down Georgia Southern, forcing them to pass the ball multiple times, not taking a shot early in the shot clock, and to end it off, a contested shot as well.
That shot was shot by McKenna Eddings. Now, back to the full court. McBride wide open. Drives it in, passes it back to the left. Pericic. Pericic drives in, goes up, and Pericic uses her power to just touch it in.
Nice job there, especially from Jaden McBride there to not take the shot. She had a bit of an open look and saw a little bit of her playmaking, which we haven't seen much of this season.
It's going to be a 3-shot by Garrett, and it's nothing but nylon, as that makes the score 10-4 Eagles with 4:16 left.
Now those are the shots App State does not want to allow, Will.
Pericic tries to answer with a 3, and it rattles off the front. Rebounded by Burton, though. Heggie drives it in from the top, goes up for the layup, gets fouled, and that foul is going to be on McKenna Eddings.
Big time gather step there from Emily Heggie. Little 1-2, maybe an extra, but she's going to the free throw line regardless.
That's one of Emily Heggie's biggest moves. She's a big dribble and go type of player, and we saw it there. Got it at the top of the key, one dribble, and immediately pushed into the paint. So Heggie is going to get 2 free throw shots, and she's shooting 77 from the line this season. The first one's up and good. It's going to make it a 5-point advantage for the Eagles with 4:03 left. Second is up and good. That's going to make it 10-6 Eagles. All but 2 points for the Mountaineers coming from free throws so far tonight. Garrett with the ball. Has nothing, passes it out to Cleveland. Back to Garrett at the top. Kicks it to Eddings. Eddings to Bryant. Bryant from the free throw line. Off the back iron, rebounded by Pericic. Heggie going quick up court, has nothing. 3 defenders on her, and that ball is going to go out of bounds off of the foot of McKenna Eddings, it looks like.
But again, Will, that's another great defensive possession, which is allowing App State to stay in this game despite shooting 13% from the field.
We have a little bit of a discussion here by Eddings, thinking it did not go off her foot, but play is going to continue. So it's going to be Burton with the ball. Pitches it inside to McBride. McBride with the size advantage, too far on the layup. Eddings now drives into the middle, and we got a whistle, and it's going to be a foul on Jaden McBride. A pushing foul.
They're just throwing off the glass right now, acting as if it's a prayer. On both sides of the court now.
That is the 5th foul on the Mountaineers, so that already puts Georgia Southern in the bonus with 3:17 left in the first. Eddings has been shooting 70% from the charity stripe this season. First shot is up and good. It's going to make it 11-6 Eagles. FDA and Stoker both sub in for the Mountaineers. It's up and it rattles out, rebounded by Emma Smith. And a whistle. It's going to be time on the ref.
Looks like the shot clock started a bit early there.
This allows Allura Sharp to have a little bit of a quick team meeting with her 5 on the court right now. It's going to be Emma Smith with the ball, FDA and Pericic and Stoker. 3 forwards on the court, and then Jada Burton and Emma Smith as the guards.
The good news with Emma Smith here is she was actually able to sub out of the game a little bit, which she has not been able to do as of recently, so it's nice for her to be able to catch her breath here.
Yeah, and a big talking point at the beginning was McBride, who already has 4 minutes under her belt early in the game. Burton looks for anything, gives it to Pericic, who's smothered at the left elbow. Goes to the top of the key to the right. Handoff to Smith. Smith from the right elbow. Play clock at 5. Smith drives in, has to do something, goes up for a fadeaway, too far. And that's a shot clock violation on Emma Smith.
Just feel like this isn't really Emma Smith's game. Trying to get into the post, sort of around the post fade, put up a tough contested shot. That's not really her brand of basketball here, Will.
Yeah, and it's interesting with 3 forwards on the court, you have the shortest player on the court trying to do that. It's Eagles ball. From the right elbow, it's going to be Garrett. Garrett to the top of the key. Gives it to Bryant. Bryant drives in, has nothing. Kicks it out to Cleveland. Cleveland for 3, and she drains it.
Just a 30% shooter on the year, but if you leave a player wide open in the game of basketball, chances are the shot's going to fall.
Burton now gives it to FDA. FDA lose control, and we get a foul in Georgia Southern ball.
Don't think Atla meant to, but just kind of toppled on top of Cleveland there.
And we mentioned at the beginning that App State had the huge injury with Addie Beal. Well, Vario Daphne Atla's now at 3 fouls. And we are not into the second quarter yet.
And that's going to force Allura Sharp to go right back to Jaden McBride, who just subbed out of the game. And like we talked pre-game, might be on a bit of a minutes restriction here. Might have to be lifted, at least for the rest of the first half.
Yeah, McBride out for about 3 weeks or so with a lower leg injury. It was never specified what it was. Had 8 minutes versus JMU, and now looks like that she's going to have to play a big role tonight for the Mountaineers.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, you never want to rush a player from rehabbing a long-term injury like that, but when she's hot and she's feeling it, she's one of the, if not the best shooter on this Appalachian State team, which quite frankly needs a little bit of offense right now, to say the least.
Yeah, App State definitely was missing her presence when she was gone on the offensive side. 12th in the Sun Belt in points per game at 63.3. First shot up by Cleveland is good. It's going to make it 15-6 with 2:10 left in the first. Second one is up and good for Cleveland. Now the Mountaineers are going to try to answer back. It's going to be Emma Smith on the full court press. Gives it to Stoker in the left. Inside to McBride. From the baseline, kicks it outside to Burton. Burton fakes the three, drives inside, finds the lane, and goes up for the rebound and gets the whistle once again.
Burton continuing to be aggressive here. Just about every possession where she has a made-up mind, she's going straight to the rim and continues to absorb contact and get these foul calls.
And that's going to be a shooting foul on Destiny Garrett. So it's going to be 2 free throws for Burton. Burton's first one is up, and it's good. She is now 3 for 5 on the night for free throws. Her second is up, and it is bounced off the back iron. It's going to be recovered by Garrett. App State slows them down to where they have to set up their offense. The Eagles, ball on the right side, gets it back over the top to Bryant. Bryant to Cleveland on the left. Cleveland fakes the drive to the middle, hands it off to Eddings. Eddings gives it back to Cleveland. Cleveland for 3 for the elbow, misses it. Rebounded by Stoker. Stoker to Smith. App State going fast. McBride on their left side. Kicks it into Parrish. Parrish back out to the top to McBride. McBride has an open lane, drives in. Too hard on the layup, and it bounces out. Rebounded by the Eagles.
Love that fake, though, from McBride. They're trying to run her off the three-point line. Got a defender in the air there. Just wasn't able to finish the layup there.
Arid pass by Cleveland, recovered by Emma Smith. Emma Smith gets it to Burton on the left. At the top of the North Carolina logo, we get a whistle, and it's going to be an illegal screen on Emma Smith. No, excuse me. It is a foul on number 0, Destiny Garrett. So that's going to be her second foul, and it's going to put App State in the bonus also. So we're going to see 2 free throw shots here by Emma Smith.
McBride comes out of the game again. Another short stint on the court. Maybe they are trying to continue to monitor her minutes here.
First shot is up and good. It's going to make it 16-8. Eagles with 45 seconds left to play here in the first. Emma Smith's second shot is up and good. 7-point advantage for the Eagles. 2 possessions left in this first quarter. The Eagles with the ball. It's going to be Bryant guarded by Stoker. Drives into on the right side. Fakes the 3. Kicks it out to Cleveland at the top. Cleveland over to Jones. Jones inside to Anderson, and Anderson just loses the handle, it looks like. And it's going to go out of bounds, so the Mountaineers are going to have 24 seconds.
Looked like she was passing to the cameraman over there. Not really sure where the intention was for that pass.
That ball's going to go out of bounds, as it looked like it was McKenna Eddings that tried to intercept that pass. Goes off her hands, so Emma Smith's going to get the ball at the half-court mark. Gives it to Burton. 17 seconds left. No shot clock. Parrish at the top of the key. Gives it to Burton. Burton looking for a lane, has nothing. Gives it to Heggie. Heggie with the hezzy, steps into the paint. Has to go up with it. Goes up with the shot, and it's just short. And that is going to be the end of the first quarter, where the not the Golden Eagles. The Eagles lead 16-9. What have you seen from the Mountaineers that they need to improve on so far, Noah?
I'll try to be an optimist here. Score the basketball, first of all. Nearly went 5 minutes without a basket. They have been getting to the free throw line, and one of the positives I'd like to note is just about every time App State was at the free throw line, they would miss the second free throw, but they continue to get their hands on the basketball and have 3 offensive rebounds to 0 for Georgia Southern so far. So in terms of that category, they're doing well, but they just can't get into a rhythm on offense. Georgia Southern's making life very difficult in the paint. They might not be the tallest team, but they have a lot of physicality, and it's starting to bother the App State guards. I think they're starting to get a little bit frustrated here.
Yeah, especially with FDA already in foul trouble. You're missing Addie Beal, so that's going to put a lot more stress on Elena Pericic and Riley Stoker throughout the rest of this game. With the first quarter coming to the end, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, the second quarter from the home center here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the Elevation 3-3-3-3. And that's not something we've seen a lot of tonight is threes. But the Georgia Southern Eagles lead the Mountaineers 16-9 as we are getting ready to enter the second quarter of play. What is Georgia Southern doing so well that's making App State struggle?
Well, first of all, they're running App State's three-point shooters off the line. App State has only shot 1 3 so far, and when they get into the paint off those drives, they're being very physical. And that's really started to cause issues for the App State guards here, Heggie and Emma Smith particularly.
And that's a McBride bucket to start the second quarter for the Mountaineers. And it's going to be a ball poked out by Heggie and recovered by Smith. So Mountaineers, 2 quick good possessions to start the second quarter. Pericic with the ball at the top. Gives it to McBride on the right. From the right elbow to the right wing. Heggie for 3. Bounces off the back iron. No good. It's now going to be Edding with the ball. Edding drives in, kicks it out to Cleveland. Cleveland with the handoff to Bryant. Bryant goes from the left to the middle. Nothing. Rebounded by Jada Burton. Burton to Smith. Smith on the right side. A lot of motion in this offense. Pericic with the ball at the top. Kicks it inside for Heggie. Heggie can't get her hand up for it, and it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be the Eagles' ball.
Pericic thought Heggie was just a little bit taller there. Just a tough pass for her to control.
It's now going to be Kayla Bryant that brings up the ball for the Eagles. One of the main players for this Eagles team that gets the most minutes off the bench. Now it's going to be Jones at the top, guarded by McBride. Push it inside to Anderson, and then back outside to Bryant on the left side. Bryant drives into the middle, kicks it out to Eddings. Eddings to Jones. And it's going to be a shot clock violation on the Eagles and App State's ball.
It is now 3 straight defensive possessions where App State has to be very satisfied with what happened. And this might be partially because Destiny Garrett is currently not in the game, so Georgia Southern kind of out of a rhythm here on offense without her playmaking.
Yeah, a little bit of a rare sighting to not see Destiny Garrett in the game, as she usually plays a majority, if not the whole game. It's going to be Burton, kicks it inside to McBride. Pericic at the top. To Smith. Smith from just outside the 3 range misses it. Rebounded by the Eagles, who are flying down the court. And we're going to get a whistle and a jump ball. And that ball is going to go into the Eagles' favor, I believe. It is going to be the Eagles' ball, as the possession arrow is pointing to the App State bench.
A little confusing there for sure, but great effort by Emma Smith there just to get her hands on the ball after missing a shot short on the other end.
It's going to be 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Eagles. Inbounding it will be Kashaya Anderson, who gets it over into Eddings, and now Anderson kicks it into the paint to Cleveland. Cleveland glows up and makes it through the contact to make it 18-11 with 7:40 left in the second.
Boy, that was some elite positioning there from Cleveland and a perfect pass getting her wide open.
Mountaineers going very pass heavy to start this possession. Burton from the left to the middle to Smith. McBride with the ball. A little bit of man defense here. Gets the screen by Pericic. Does nothing with it. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Pericic fakes the drive, finally drives in. Hits the spin, goes up with the crazy layup. Kind of just pushes the ball, and it bounces right in.
Yes, Perisic was very off balance there, but understood that the shot clock was winding down. She had to get a shot up, and sometimes that's the spark you need to get back into a game.
It's now going to be the Eagles' ball. At the top with Edding. Edding with the shot, misses the 3, wide to the right. Rebounded by Pericic, who gives it to Burton. With the numbers advantage, Stoker, wide open layup, and she drops it in.
What a pass from Burton there, right as Stoker cuts, and probably the easiest shot of the night for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, that's a great job by Burton to find Stoker, who had that wide open lane. Not a defender from here to Walmart, and she just runs in and lays it right in. App State brings it back to an 18-15 score with 6:42 left. What you see from the Mountaineers there in just that first 3 minutes and 15 seconds or so of the second quarter?
Well, nothing has changed too much on offense other than getting a couple more shots to fall. It's more about on the defensive end. They're being a lot more physical than Georgia Southern right now. They're forcing them to take shots deep into the shot clock, and that's exactly what you want if you're a Laura Sharp against a sharpshooting team that is Georgia Southern.
Yeah, and you mentioned that physicality. App State on a 6-2 run to start the second quarter. When we come back, we will have more App State versus Georgia Southern basketball here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the Holmes Convocation Center as App State on a 6-2 run to start the second quarter is looking a lot better than they did in the first.
Yeah, App State starting to out physicality, something like that, towards Georgia Southern, and the shots haven't been falling. Yes, they're shooting just 24% from the field. If some of these shots start to fall, this game could get really back and forth very quickly.
Yeah, the number 1 team in the Sun Belt, in the Georgia Southern Eagles, is they're gonna have to watch how they play tonight, because the App State Mountaineers are kind of a sneaky team. Yes, their record doesn't show, but they have the potential to come in and beat these good teams. It just hasn't fallen their way in the past.
It's all about momentum, especially from start to finish. the preparation that comes into the game plan, all of these aspects that have allowed App State to be behind by just 3 despite a poor shooting performance thus far.
Yeah, looking at the Mountaineers' last 5, they had a 3-point loss to Kent State in the App State, in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. And then they went and played JMU at home and lost by 7. So 2 close games. They beat Georgia State in overtime by 6, lose by 1 to Coastal, and then JMU away just takes it to them and beats them 74-48.
And App State's really more of a second-half scoring team anyway. These scores kind of reflect that in the box score outside of the JMU game. So if they can continue to get shots to fall here, it could get very interesting, Will.
And it's going to be Edding who passes it inside to Cleveland. Cleveland goes up, and nothing but air as it's rebounded by Pericic. Emma Smith gives it to Pericic on the left. Passes it inside to McBride. To the left side of the paint. Pushes it into the paint from the Sunbelt logo, kicks it back out to Burton. Burton goes in, misses the layup. Back-to-back air balls, and we're going to get a scrabble for the ball. Everybody's falling down. This is Emma Smith just gets the basketball out of that dog pile that was. And it's going to be the Mountaineers' ball, 24 seconds on the shot clock.
These are 2 teams that just want it, and they want their teams to succeed as Emma Smith hits a 3.
Emma Smith ties it up for the Mountaineers as she hits the 3 from the right elbow. Now, the Eagles have to answer here. Cleveland gives it back to Brown. Gives it to Bryant on the right side. Inside to Anderson, and Anderson puts it up.
Yeah, Anderson's a scorer, Will, and she's going to continue to score at will if the Mountaineer defense lets her.
And we get an errant pass by Jada Burton that looked like it was intended for either Riley Stoker or Jada McBride. Neither of them looking for the ball, and it goes out of bounds.
Burton's really had to step up here, entered into the starting lineup, and having most of the ball handling abilities here.
Cleveland from 3 from the right, and it goes right in. 23-18 Eagles. Burton now with the ball, gives it to Pericic at the top. Standing on the northeast portion of North Carolina on the court. Gives it to Stoker. Stoker has Pericic now on the left. The clock's running down, gives it to McBride. McBride from the corner 3, and it misses off the front iron.
It's not the worst shot in the world for how that possession was going. Very stagnant, not much happening there for the Mountaineers. Lucky to get a shot off.
And now it's the Eagles' turn to try to extend this lead. Passes it inside Anderson, and we're going to get a whistle on Pericic on a reach-in.
She's gotten away with a couple of those over-the-back fouls, but not going to get away with it every time here.
Emily Hagee and Zoe McCrary are going to be subbing in for the Mountaineers.
So it turns out we were wrong pregame, and Alora Sharp's going to go 9 deep, so that's always fun.
Now it's going to be Anderson. Anderson with from the Sunbelt logo in the paint, and she just drains it in. Kashaya Anderson is on fire so far tonight. Now, Mountaineers' turn. McCrary with the ball at the top. Fakes the handoff to Heggie. Passes it over to Smith. Smith at the top drives in, has a lane. Through the contact, and she puts it in. No foul, but she still gets the bucket. 25-20 Mountaineers. Or, excuse me, Eagles.
That is what veteran players do, get their teams a bucket when they need it. Georgia Southern was on a 7-0 run in about 60 seconds until that bucket from Emma Smith.
Now the Eagles try to answer. Anderson off the front iron and misses it. A little bit of a heat check there. Smith now with the ball. Heggie on the left side. Right at the elbow. Passes it inside at the left baseline. McCrary outside the Burton. Burton for 3 at the top. Too long. Rebounded by the Eagles.
Well, that's a high arcing shot, isn't it, Will? That felt like it went to the roof here.
Now it's going to be Eddings at the top. Gives it inside to Anderson. Anderson drives in on McCrary. Tries to hit the fade. Hits the side of the backboard. No good. Heggie with the ball. Hits one move, goes up. Misses it in the mid-range. Quick possession by the Mountaineers there. Now it's going to be the Eagles' ball once again.
Would have liked a pass there from Heggie. Kind of just pulled up in transition where she's been sort of cold this game. 0 for 2, and it was a 4-on-5 there.
Now it's going to be Cleveland at the top. Kicks it to the right. That's Bryant. It's going to be a shot and miss by Edding on the right side mid-range. Now Smith to Burton. Burton looking at her options. Gets the screen by Smith. Gives it to McBride. McBride inside the McCrary. Zoe drives in, goes up. Little layup, and it's just a soft touch and a bucket, making it 25-22. So App State brings it back within 3 points.
Well, she's just a 29% shooter from the field overall, but that one looked pretty good. A lot of touch on that.
Now the Eagles turn. Bryant with the ball. We get a whistle and a illegal screen, and it's going to be the Mountaineers' ball.
Kashaya Anderson there, I believe, just got a little too handsy there in the paint, trying to clear space for a point guard.
And that's going to be Anderson's third foul on the night. So Anderson now enters foul trouble with 1:41 left in the second. Heggie's going to be inbounding it from the left side. The ref's making sure they got everything right. It's inbounded to Burton. Gives it to Pericic at the top. Hand off to Stoker at the top. Stoker drives in, hits a little back step, doesn't have anything, gives it to Burton on the outside. Burton now over the middle, drives it in, and just lays it up through the contact. And now it's a 1-point game in the Eagles' favor with the 1:17 left.
App State starting to get whatever they want in the paint, and it's paying off. It is now just a 1-point game here.
It's the Eagles. Bryant hits a couple moves, brings it back out. Couldn't find a lane to drive it in. Finds that lane to drive it in on Burton. Gets the leverage and puts it up and gets it in. 27-24 with 52 seconds left in the second. Pericic at the top. App State's been running a lot of this 1-3-1 offense. Inside the McCrary. Tries to give it to Heggie. It's pushed out of bounds. And they're going to say out of bounds on the Mountaineers. So it's going to be the Eagles' ball.
I don't know, Will. I think that might have been worth a review there. Did not look like Heggie was the last one to touch it.
They're going to say out of bounds on McCrary. So now the Eagles making sure it can't be a 1-and-1 opportunity for the Mountaineers, draining as much time off the clock as possible. 16 seconds left. The drive in, mid-range, from the free throw line, and that's Kayla Bryant with the bucket. Now, 9 seconds for the Mountaineers. Burton goes quick, brings it into the paint, hits a spin move, has the leverage, touches it in, and that's a bucket with 2 seconds left. And that's going to make it 29-26 at halftime. Wasn't a great first quarter for the Mountaineers. They bring it back, and they are going into halftime with a 3-point deficit to the #1 team in the Sun Belt.
That is exactly what Laura Sharp likes to see, especially at the end of the half there, continuing to be aggressive on both ends. And one thing to note, Will, I'm not sure if we saw Destiny Garrett much in that second quarter. I'm not sure what's going on with her, but it feels like she didn't really play that much.
Yeah, we did not see much of Destiny Garrett for sure. It seemed like it was a lot more Kayla Bryant there than it was Destiny Garrett. But, I mean, Bryant's still making her shots. So when you have the substitute come in and still make her shots, it looks good for you anyway. And that's probably part of the reason why they are that #1 seed in the Sun Belt. As they go to halftime, we are going to take a short break. And when we come back, it's going to be the second half here from the High Country as the Mountaineers trail the Georgia Southern Eagles 26-29 here on 90.5 WASU YouTube. Welcome back to the Holmes Convocation Center for the second half of App State women's basketball. I'm Will Battershell, and joining me is Noah Roberson. So we got word from Alora Sharp as she went into the locker room for half that she credits that comeback by the Mountaineers, one, because they cleaned up the sloppy errors, and two, because they upped the tempo in both offensive and defense to kind of force Georgia Southern's hand a little bit. And you could tell Georgia Southern wasn't ready for that increased tempo.
Yeah, not exactly what we expected to hear from Alora Sharp, especially the part about the careless turnovers. So I feel like the turnovers weren't so much the issue as was the defensive effort as well as the shooting. But like Alora Sharp said, the tempo was much better, especially on offense for players like Jada Burton getting into the paint at will. Consistently drawing fouls, getting to the line, shooting 10 times at the line, just something you love to see if you're a head coach, your team being physical, as well as the tempo on defense. They did seem a lot faster, and sort of navigating screens and navigating their matchups and sort of forcing Georgia Southern to speed up more than they would like to, taking shots above 7 seconds into the shot clock here.
No, the one thing we were talking about during that break is Destiny Garrett. She has played only 9 minutes so far today, and she hasn't had a game all season long that she hasn't played less than 25 minutes. Could it be a potential injury concern? Could App State be playing the size advantage a little too much to where it's overwhelming her? What do you think it could be?
I think it might be the size advantage, Will, which is weird to say considering she's played in so many games, especially in conference. I mean, this is a player that's played 50 minutes in a basketball game, in a double overtime game, played every second of the game. So I feel like physicality and her size shouldn't really be an issue at this point. App State is a big team, but they're not like ginormously big on offense especially. And she's on pace for 18 minutes here, so we'll see what happens if she continues to be in the starting lineup here, if it's just a coaching idea sort of to get taller players, better matchups on the court. We'll see.
As we get ready for the second half, 24 seconds left before they play the buzzer to get the players on the court. Both teams in the huddle coming up with their last-minute game plan out of the second or into the second half. And if you're App State at halftime, you got to be happy with where you sit relative to the opponent you're playing. And if you're Georgia Southern, you might be a little bit scared right now because App State has seemed to kind of find a way to claw back into this as only a 3-point game, and it's the number 1 team in the Sun Belt versus the number 11 team in the Sun Belt. And if you're Troy, who is not playing tonight, you're watching this game, and if you're a Troy fan or player, you're the biggest App State fan of all time right now.
And there's a 13% differential in scoring percentage, like we said, and that could continue to go up for App State, and that is a problem for Georgia Southern.
It's going to be App State's ball to start the second half. Deja Mitchell from the right elbow gives it to Emma Smith. Emma Smith to Stoker. Stoker fakes the 3, drives in on the right side from the baseline, and it bounces off the rim about 5 times and does not go in. The Eagles now with their first possession of the second half. At the top, it's going to be Jones. Jones to Edding. Edding to Cleveland on the left corner. Back over to the middle to Bryant. Inside the Cleveland at the free throw line. It gives it back out to Bryant. Bryant hits a hezzy and drains it over Jada Burton.
Bryant's continued to hit her shots here, and she has stayed aggressive on the offensive end without Garrett on the court here to start the second half.
32-26 for the Eagles now. It's going to be Mitchell. Mitchell drives in from the Sunbelt logo in the paint, and it is missed. And now the Eagles have the ball, slow it down to set up their offense. Kicks it to Jones on the right side, to the right corner to Cleveland. Now to the middle to Edding. Edding inside the Cleveland. From the free throw line, tries to give it into Anderson, and Anderson gets it knocked away by Emma Smith. Now it's going to be Stoker with the ball to Smith. Burton from the left to the middle. Screens all around for the Mountaineers. Gives it to Deja Mitchell at the top. Inside the paint to Stoker. Stoker drives in on Cleveland, goes up, and we're going to get a whistle as it got a little handsy there on the shot by Stoker.
I'm not sure why Kayla Cleveland pointed at the ref like she didn't foul, because she came straight down on top of her.
Stoker shooting 50% from the free throw line this season. She's going to get a chance at 2.
And I sort of like this decision here from Alora Sharp, keeping Stoker in the lineup here a little bit longer so Atla can sort of stay out of foul trouble towards the fourth quarter.
The first shot is up and short. The team rallies around her. All 4 players comes up, tell her that she's fine. It's just one miss. Second shot is up and off the front iron once again. So both shots too short. And it's going to be the Eagles' ball. It's going to be Jones that brings it up. From the Carolina logo all the way over to Edding. Now into the left corner is Cleveland. Back over the middle to Bryant. Inside the paint to Cleveland. Cleveland goes up on the backhanded screen and it goes in. It's about the 3rd time in a row that Georgia Southern has ran that and it's worked, as it makes it 34-26.
Yeah, they're playing with their own tempo right now. They're getting whatever they want on offense here.
That ball is going to be poked out by Jones, and it's going to remain the Mountaineers' ball right in front of us at the media table. Emily Heggie is subbed into the game for Riley Stoker. Inbounded to Heggie.
Bit of a push off there, got away with it.
Heggie catches a little bit of an elbow by the defender, but keeps the ball. Drives into the paint, goes up, gets the foul. Shot not good, but she will get 2 shots, and that foul is going to be on number 24, Kashaya Anderson.
Looked like Anderson got the worst of the blow there from Heggie.
That's going to be Anderson's 4th foul of the game. And we're going to see Destiny Garrett sub back in for the first time since she subbed out early in the second.
Seems like Hannah Hayden had no choice but to go to Garrett here off the bench with the foul trouble.
Heggie's first shot is short. All 3 free throws for the Mountaineers from this end, shooting into the welcome to Boone sign, have been short. The 4th one is up, and it is good now. App State 1 for 4 this half on the free throws, making it 27-34. The Eagles now beating the Mountaineers' full court press. It's going to be Garrett with the ball. Kicks it to Bryant. All the way to the left corner, that's Jones. Jones to Garrett, to the middle. A fake shot by Edding. Passes it into the paint. Jones with the spin move and a whistle and 1.
What a strong move from Jones there. Got the whole bench celebrating over there. There's not much you can do if you're Jada Burton. That's good defense, just better offense.
Yeah, Jada Burton gets flagged with the foul there. But like you said, that was good defense and just unfortunate foul called. It's going to be 1 shot for Jones. Jones' shot is good. So 3-point play is good for the Eagles, making it a 10-point lead, 37-27. Now the Mountaineers trying to answer. It's an 8-1 run by the Eagles. Mitchell with the ball from the right side, drives in to the paint, decides against it. Now gives it inside to Pericic. Back out to Mitchell. Mitchell inside to Smith from the left side. The fadeaway off the back iron and no good.
Emma Smith continues to go cold whenever she gets into the paint and shoots that little fadeaway shot. I'm not sure if that's her style of basketball.
Now it's going to be Bryant with the ball. On the right, guarded by Smith. Gives it to Jones, who gives it to Garrett, and then back at the top. Back to Jones at the free throw line. drives in, 2 defenders on her, kicks it to the wide open Bryant, and Bryant drains the 3 with nobody around her.
If I'm a Laura Sharp, I'm taking a timeout here. Even with the media break coming up, you just got to stop the bleeding, and there it is.
Good call, Noah, as it is 40-27 with 5:55 left. And the Eagles are on a 11-1 run to start the third.
Like we just said, needed a timeout, and we got it. Big time run here from Georgia Southern, and App State just doesn't seem to be locked in on the offensive end or the defensive end here. Georgia Southern's sort of getting whatever they want, and App State has not been able to capitalize on basically anything to start the quarter here.
So what are you seeing that Georgia Southern's doing to help propel them to such a big run to start the first 4 minutes of this quarter?
I think they're being a lot more physical in the half court. They're kind of leaning back from that little bit of a press they were showing in the first half. They're not really doing that now. Now they're just sticking with their man, and App State plays a lot of teams that run zone, so maybe they're not used to a lot of man coverage here, and maybe that's throwing them off. Maybe that's something they need to focus on the defensive end, is sort of switch up the coverage and try and get something that'll throw Georgia Southern off.
We are going to take a quick break with the media timeout, but when we come back, there's 5:56 left in the third as the Mountaineers trail by 13 to the Georgia Southern Eagles here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the home center as the Mountaineers are looking for any sight of hope after exiting halftime down by 3. They're now down by 13 as the Georgia Southern Eagles were able to increase their lead by 10 thanks to their offense in the first 4 minutes of the quarter. For App State, they called that timeout with possession, so it's going to be the Mountaineers' ball. Deja Mitchell with the inbound. Burton is going to have it. Gives it to Mitchell on the left side. McBride back to Burton at the middle. We see Fariel Defne Atla in the game for the first time since the first, and a foul is drawn on her, not against her this time.
It's got to feel good if you're Atla. Sub right back into the game. It's been almost like 20 minutes of court time since she's been on the court, and immediately pays off by drawing a foul.
That's the third foul now for the Eagles as we get another whistle. And it's going to be a foul on the Eagles once again. So back-to-back fouls. The last foul was on Kayla Cleveland. This one's on McKenna Eddings. So back-to-back fouls. Now the Mountaineers with the ball once again. 17 seconds on the shot clock. McBride from the left side. Takes it to the wing, passes it inside the FDA. FDA goes in, mid-range, and it just hits nothing.
Cameraman Curtis over there, shout out Curtis, had to back up about 3 feet from the chair just so that ball didn't hit him. Just a little bit out of rhythm, Atla seems here to start, and it's understandable spending 20 minutes of game time on the bench. Just got to be better there.
Eagles with the ball. Ball over the middle with Bryant. Bryant kicks it to the left. Into the corner with Edding. Edding gives it back to Bryant. It's a elbow three, and it just goes straight in. Bryant has been electric from that left elbow.
And Bryant sort of allowed Destiny Garrett to stay on the bench due to matchups because of her relentlessness on offense and continuing to score the ball at will.
And Mount makes it a 16-point lead for the Eagles. Emma Smith tries her own three and drops it in. 43-30.
Emma Smith needed that one. The whole team really needed that one. Just 2 3-pointers tonight for App State.
Now the Eagles going to try to answer right back. At the top, Edding, wide open three, and that bounces off the front and does not go in. Rebounded by Burton. Now it's going to be Smith. Has nothing. 4 defenders surround her, kicks it out to Burton. Inside the paint to Deja Mitchell, and it bounces off her hands right into Kayla Cleveland's hands.
Burton's had a couple passes tonight. They're just a little high for her fellow teammates, and that's allowed Georgia Southern to create fast breaks here.
Now it's going to be Bryant that gets it inside to Jones. Jones on the fake step, hands it off back to Bryant, heading left. From the same shot she made the last 3, she misses that one. Rebounded by Jones and gets absolutely slotted to the court by Deja Mitchell and goes out of bounds on the Mountaineers.
Good job by Mitchell not to give up on the play. Sort of a scramble drill there for Georgia Southern, and App State did not panic.
So that's going to send us to a media timeout. And when we come back, there's 3:47 left in the third as Georgia Southern leads 43-30 here in the third quarter. I'm Will Battershell with Noah Roberson here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the home center as the Mountaineers trail the Georgia Southern Eagles by 13, 43-30, with 3:46 left in the third quarter. Noah, we've seen App State kind of find their groove from that last break to break and slow down this Georgia Southern offense a little bit. What do they need to continue to do as Georgia Southern is set to get the ball?
Yeah, App State got themselves in a little bit of a hole there, but they're starting to crawl out of it. And believe it or not, App State actually won the second quarter, 17-13. It's just Georgia Southern, has kind of gashed them here. They just need to continue to be aggressive, regardless if shots fall down or not. Aggressiveness will be key here for the Mountaineers on both sides of the ball.
It's going to be Edding from the top. They have a fresh shot clock because the ball was hit out of bounds by Deja Mitchell. App State with a rotating defense. Playing the zone very well. Leaves a man or a woman wide open and she misses it. That's going to be Garrett on the miss. Now, Smith brings it up fast. Not letting this defense catch a breath for the Eagles. It's going to be Burton with the ball. At the top, setting up her offense. FDA sets the screen for McBride, and the ball goes to McBride. Now, screens set all around. McBride kicks it to Smith. 2 seconds left. Deep three for Smith, and she misses it.
There's a lot of off-ball movement there, Will, like you said, with a lot of the screens, but zero on-ball movement. Sort of felt like Jane McBride was just holding the ball there for 20 seconds before putting up a shot.
It's now going to be the Eagles starting in the right corner with Edding. Over to the top to Bryant. Bryant gives it to Jones. Now onto the left side, Bryant, and she misses it short this time. So she's missed her last 2 threes from her favorite spot on the court. Emma Smith drives into the paint, goes up, it rattles off 4 times and drops in to make it 32-43 Eagles.
And sometimes you just need to get a little lucky there. App State dodged 2 bullets there on Kyla Bryant misses there. Lucky those didn't fall, but able to stay aggressive on the other end and get to the paint and score.
It's now going to be Garrett with the ball. From the left side, guarded by Pericic, drives it in. Oh, what a smooth pass by Garrett to Leah Anderson, and Anderson puts it up through the contact and is going to get the and one.
That's what sort of allows Hannah Hayden to keep Garrett on the court, even if she's being outmatched by her size and physicality. Her ability to move the ball, even when she's not scoring, that was a gorgeous dime there from her.
Very flashy bounce pass there by the 5'4" player. The shot is up and it's good. So the 3-point play for the Eagles comes in succession. 46-32. FDA with the ball at the top. We're going to get a foul. And it's going to be, I believe that may be on Kashaya Anderson. It is on a Kashaya Anderson. That means she has fouled out of the game.
Does she have 4 or 5 fouls here? Is she going to have to come out?
That would be her 5th foul, and it is her 5th foul, so she has fouled out of the game. And that's going to put App State in the bonus. So Emma Smith is going to get 2 from the charity stripe, where she's shooting 73% this season and 2 for 2 tonight. First one is up, and nothing but net.
Losing Anderson is a monumental loss here for Georgia Southern. She's been one of the more consistent players tonight on both sides of the ball.
Next one's up and good. Both shots, nothing but net for Smith. Now makes it 46-34 Eagles with 1:44 left in the third. Throw crossed court to Garrett. Garrett gets the screen by Anderson, kicks it back out to Cleveland. To Edding, who finds a lane over the middle, has nothing, gives it to Garrett again from the right side. Hits the screen, goes up for the jumper, and it drains it.
That's what Garrett's here to do, is make big shots, as well as her playmaking ability, as we've seen so far.
App State tried to catch the Eagles sleeping by going fast, but they do not fall for it. Emma Smith in the paint. Out to Burton. Burton fakes the 3, drives it in. Under the basket, goes up, bounces off just short. Now the Eagles pick up the tempo. 57 seconds left. It's going to be Garrett, fakes the drive in, and the pass just goes through the legs of Jamira Jones. And that's going to be the Mountaineers' ball.
See if the Mountaineers can be aggressive here and go 2 for 1. Try and get this under a 10-point game to end the quarter here, Will.
Yeah, that's a good point on the 2-for-1. 50.4 on the game clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock. So if they score quick, they might have a chance to have another possession. Smith to McCrary. McCrary hands it off to Pericic. Pericic goes back off the screen inside the Heggie, and it's intercepted by, I believe that was Eating.
Great job by Eatings there to sort of read the eyes of Perisic. From our angle, it looked like that pass was going to get completed, but great hands by her.
Yeah, Edding comes flying through from the top and just intercepts that. Now it's going to be Cleveland who gives it to Elia Anderson. Over the middle, Garrett, 3, guaranteed. Now it's going to be Smith as it's 51-34. 5 seconds left in the third. Hits a great move. Shot is up, and it is good with a second left. And that is going to conclude the third quarter. But the big story of this third quarter, Georgia Southern outscores the Mountaineers 22-10 to take a 51-36 lead. What does the Mountaineers need to do besides obviously score buckets to help them get back into this game in that fourth quarter?
I feel like we've continued to beat around the bush here, Will, sort of fabricate this idea of scoring and not letting the other team score, but it's really that simple at this point in the fourth quarters to just get some stops. Get some stops without fouling and crash the glass. We saw the Mountaineers sort of had the edge on rebounding here in the first half. That is all gone. They are now -4 on the glass. That's sort of something that they can sort of grab boards and get themselves back into this game here, especially defensive rebounding.
Yeah, and now with Anderson it looks like she's on 4 fouls, so I might have been wrong. I might have jumped the gun a little early there. But with Anderson at 4 fouls, that takes away a big name for this team, so that's going to be something to look out for to see who could fill that gap. And it's looking kind of like it's going to be Garrett and Jones that now are coming in and playing together instead of subbing out for each other.
Yeah, and regardless, Anderson would have had to come out of the game anyway, having 4 fouls. You don't want to risk it, especially with a little bit of breathing room for Georgia Southern. A lot of breathing room, but it's not over for the Mountaineers. They can get off to a hot start here.
So the Mountaineers trail by 15 heading into the fourth. And when we come back, it's going to be the fourth quarter here from the Holmes Convocation Center here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the home center as the Mountaineers look to make a 15-point comeback on the Georgia Southern Eagles to try to come back and win this game. But Georgia Southern's kind of showing why they're that #1 team in the Sun Belt, especially in that third quarter.
Yeah, and if I'm App State here with just 10 minutes left, the simplest way to do this is try and go in spurts of 5 points. Try and narrow it down 5 points each break. So 5 points here to get it to a 10-point game, another 5 points. Just try and slowly dig into this lead here. But they're going to have to do it early in this quarter, else they're going to run out of time.
The first play of the fourth goes out of bounds on Pericic as there was an errant pass by Garrett. Now, Eagles ball still. Garrett on the left side. Near her bench. Drives in, off the screen, goes up on Pericic, and I mean, that height advantage right there just shows as that ball just goes straight out of bounds and hits the cameraman.
Yeah, you can practice that shot a million times, but once in game you got a player that's 8 inches taller than you, that's typically going to be the result, Will.
Now it's going to be Emma Smith with the ball. Mountaineers looking to cut in that 15-point lead. Pericic gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell kicks it inside to McBride. McBride goes up, and that ball was way short. 51-36 with 9:10 left. Shot is up by Jones off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Emma Smith. Beats the press by Jones, gets the screen by FDA, goes up, misses the layoff on a ball that rattles out.
Just unlucky. It's the only way to put it here, Will. Just unlucky.
Now it's going to be Garrett with the ball. Gives it over to Anderson. Anderson, and a foul on Deja Mitchell.
Mitchell was a little handsy there, but some great acting there from McKenna Eddings, I believe.
Yeah, Eddings tried to take that ball on a little handoff from behind Anderson, and Mitchell kind of met them in the gap and drops Edding.
I think Eddings kind of knew she wasn't going to get that ball there, so she tried to sell something, and it paid off. It worked.
Now, Eagles ball again. 18 on the shot clock. Garrett with the ball, guarded by Smith. 0-on-0. Gives it inside to Anderson. Handoff to Bryant. Bryant goes up mid-range, and it is no good. FDA on the contest there as we get a foul. On number 20, that's going to be Laya Anderson on the foul.
Oh, yeah, Anderson ended up on her wallet there, despite committing the foul.
So it's going to be the Mountaineers ball. Score has yet to change 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. 8:17 left. Emma Smith to FDA at the top. FDA, nobody guarding her, hands it off to Deja Mitchell. Little tangle up on the left side, but they figure it out. Now it's McBride over to Mitchell on the right side, inside to FDA. FDA looking for a gap on the fadeaway, and it bounces in. First basket of the quarter for either team.
Mountaineers are going to need a lot more of that down the stretch here, but Atla, got to give her credit being out of the game most of this game and still continuing to be aggressive on the offensive end.
Kayla Cleveland with the three, no good, rebounded by McBride. App State going quick. Pericic wide open by herself in the paint, doesn't take the shot. Gives it to FDA though. FDA, same shot as last time, and it's good again.
Continuing to get whatever she wants at the rim. FDA having her way right now.
51-40 Eagles with 7:19 left. The ball is in Garrett's hand on the right side. At the top, drives it in, and we get a foul on Emma Smith. And she acknowledges that it was her fault.
Sort of a rare 0 assist game we're seeing from Emma Smith here. She's kind of had to carry the load on offense here, which is never a bad thing when a team is struggling on offense.
Now it's the Eagles' ball. It's going to be Cleveland in the right corner. Kicks it back out to the middle to Edding. Mountaineer on the ground. That's Deja Mitchell. Deja Mitchell gets up to try to make the play again, and we're going to get a whistle called and a foul on Deja Mitchell this time.
Looks like Georgia Southern is starting to target Deja Mitchell a little bit here in the paint on multiple possessions here, and it's paid off. She seems a little frustrated, understandably so, with the foul calls.
It's going to be 2 free throws for Kayla Cleveland now, shooting almost 80% from the line. And that's going to be the 4th foul on Deja Mitchell, so we see her get benched for a little bit part of the game as that free throw is made by Cleveland. Cleveland tonight is 3 for 3 from the line.
And that's one of the biggest skills you can have as a big is a high free throw percentage. That will allow your coach to keep you on the court every single game. And
the second free throw is good, so Cleveland 4 for 4 tonight from the free throw. 53-40 lead for the Eagles with 6:48 left. Burton drives it in. Right outside the paint, kicks it into McBride. McBride goes up. Just a bad shot, no whistle. Tons of contact, Eagles ball.
McBride's still a little bit out of rhythm getting back into it from that injury, and she's played a lot of minutes tonight, up to 21 now, and she played just 8 in the previous game.
Bryant, from her favorite spot, drives it in instead of takes the three, kicks it out to Garrett. Garrett takes the three, and it rattles out. Now Emma Smith going quick, passes across court to Burton, and goes out of bounds as it was just a little behind Burton.
Right into the hands of our alumni here on the sideline.
And McBride gets subbed out. Riley Stoker comes back in for the Mountaineers.
It might be the last we see of Jaden McBride tonight, talking about her minutes all night.
App State playing aggressive defense here, going with the 2-1-2 defense on the full court press. Now the ball is in Anderson's hand. Hands it off to Garrett. Garrett fakes the shot, gives it over to Bryant. Bryant drives on the baseline. Intercepted by Pericic across the baseline. Now, Pericic without the numbers, sets and gives it to Smith. Pericic fakes the three, whistle, and travel on Pericic.
That's such a common move nowadays in basketball. Getting that pump fake on the three-point line, especially for three-point shooters, and then just forgetting to dribble the basketball before stepping foot. It's very common every level of the game now.
Eagles ball, driven in by Edding. Edding to Anderson, and it's just laid up perfectly to make it 55-40 with 5:28 left.
Let's see if the Mountaineers have one last sort of burst here of offense here in this game.
It's going to be FDA on two people, and we get a whistle, and FDA falls hard on her elbow. FDA does get up. It's going to be a foul on Laya Anderson.
It's good to see her get up, Will. Already with Addie Beal missing this game. Cannot afford to lose another big going into the Sun Belt tournament.
Alora Sharp from the sideline directing what play she wants to run on the inbound. FDA with the ball, and it gets just absolutely slapped down by Anderson, and now it's the Eagles' ball. 15-point lead, 5 minutes left. The three from the corner, and it's good. The ice in the veins from McKenna Edding as she drops it in from the left corner. And a timeout by Alora Sharp.
That is as close to a dagger as it gets, Will. Still 5 minutes left, but App State's going to have to be darn near perfect down the stretch here.
Yeah, App State down 18, 58-40 with 4:54 left. When we come back, myself, Will Battershell, Noah Roberson will take you through the rest of the game here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the Holmes Convocation Center, where the App State Mountaineers trail by 18 to the number 1 team in the Sun Belt, the Georgia Southern Eagles. 4:54 left on the clock. And if you're the Mountaineers, at this point, you're just trying to build momentum to the ODU game on Friday.
Yeah, unless you want to win this game, you have to be perfect here down the stretch.
App State will get the possession to start. It's going to be Burton with the ball. Goes across the key to Smith. FDA at the top. Shoots it from the free throw, misses it. And it's going to be rebounded by Georgia Southern. It's going to be Garrett who brings it up nice and slow. Taking her time, really draining the time off the clock. Cleveland gets it to Anderson. Anderson to Garrett. Kayla Cleveland with the ball, hands it off to Edding. Edding drives in, and that is a good shot that just doesn't fall by Edding. Now it's going to be the Mountaineers' turn. Kicks it over to Pericic. Great coverage by Cleveland. A little bit of like a swing pass there by Pericic, doesn't get it to go, and it's now the Eagles' ball.
Yeah, I don't think Perisic meant to pick up her dribble there. She dribbled once and then picked it up, forced to pass it here. Another bucket here for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, Edding with the great layup to make it a 20-point game for the Eagles. 60-40 with 3:42 left. Smith now with the ball. From the free throw line, it bounces off the back iron, rebounded by the Eagles. And as we're getting later into this game, the Mountaineers look to their last home game and last game of the season against ODU to try to make a bounce back before the Sun Belt tournament. Mountaineers on defense. Edding for 3 from left, misses it.
She's got the green light right now, though. Just absolutely zero hesitation there.
Pericic for 3 from the left, and that's too far to the right. Now Georgia Southern's in full chew clock mode as they take the full almost 10 seconds to get it across the half-court line. Cross-court pass to Bryant. Bryant at the top. Passes it underneath Edding, and Edding once again just comes down the baseline. Nobody guards her, and she puts it up. The Mountaineers going fast, just trying to score as many buckets as they can at this point. The damage control. Smith gets the ball, goes up, and it's in.
Boy, how big has Emma Smith been tonight? That is now 18 of the App State 40 points. She's been by far the best player tonight.
Yeah, App State's offense has been truly ran through Smith tonight, as it's going to be a blocked ball by FDA on Bryant. Now it's going to be Edding, who looked like she was going to take the open 3, did not, goes for the layup, misses the layup, and FDA's in there to break up and force the rebound for Burton. Burton passes to Stoker. Stoker goes in, a little layup there. 18-point game with 1:56 left.
Destiny Garrett tried to draw a charge here with up almost 20. Interesting decision.
And we're going to get a whistle, and I believe this is a timeout by the Mountaineers.
Might be calling off the dogs here, Will.
It looks like we're going to get a 3-player sub from the players that were sitting. Oh, Georgia Southern timeout, excuse me. And this is going to be a media timeout, but it looks like the App State will be putting in Deja Mitchell, Jada McBride, and Issa Rahman coming up after this break here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the Holmes Convocation Center. The Mountaineers, who were once down 3 at halftime to the Georgia Southern Eagles, trail by 18 with 1:49 left in the fourth quarter. As predicted, the 3 subs for the Mountaineers do come in, and FDA intercepts a pass that was going straight for the paint. Now it's going to be the Mountaineers' ball. To McBride. Roman a little off schedule there with McBride, and it's an errant pass that goes out of bounds.
Roman was moving to the paint before McBride even got the ball. That was just sort of a unforced error there, assuming that Roman would be in that exact spot.
Now it's the Eagles' ball, 1:34 left. We're going to get a whistle and a timeout for Georgia Southern as they were getting smothered defensively by the Mountaineers.
Laura Sharp elects to do a press there off the shot with just over 90 seconds left here, showing that does not want her team to quit whatsoever.
And we've seen that from Sharp all year long. No matter what the score is, she tries to keep these girls in the game as much as possible to try and just carry some momentum to the next game. Because where you're at with the Mountaineers, sitting at what's going to be a 4-13 in conference, you're just trying to get any momentum as you're heading into that Sun Belt tournament in Pensacola.
Yeah, wins are one thing, but momentum is another, regardless of if you win or lose. This team desperately needs some momentum from our last game against ODU.
And it's a 5-second violation, so the full court press defense by the Mountaineers working better than probably expected, as it's a turnover in the Mountaineers' ball. Emma Smith with the ball, kicks it to McBride at the top. McBride, the FDA, driving in on Anderson, and she gets the tough bucket to go in.
FDA's played just 16 minutes here, but she has been impactful, regardless of what the score has been.
So the Mountaineers trying to make the score a little bit better at the end of the game, carry that momentum into ODU. The Eagles find a way around that press defense. Wide open person, it's Edding. Edding kicks it back out. You got to think the Eagles' plans here is just pass it all the way around till the clock hits like 0. Another pass, Garrett to Cleveland. Cleveland for 3 from the left corner, does not get it. 40 seconds left in the game. Mitchell to Smith. Smith for 3, and she misses it to the left. Rebounded by Mitchell. Mitchell goes up and makes it. 29 seconds left, and that's pretty much going to do it for the game. So, Noah, what does App State need to do in preparation for the Sun Belt tournament to get them into a way to where they can effectively prepare to go out and try to win some games?
Well, Will, we saw a really competitive first half here, regardless of what App State shot. It was sub 25% from the field, but they were aggressive. They got to the free throw line, and that sort of went away in the second half. Georgia Southern made their adjustments, as did App State, and Georgia Southern just flat out beat them in the second half, flat out outplayed them down the stretch. So App State going into the last game just needs to stay momentous, regain momentum, and continue to have that throughout 4 quarters, play a full game, because it felt like they really only played one half here.
Yeah, that's a good point. And when they get to Pensacola, it's going to be all about playing as much and as strong as you can throughout the whole tournament. So with that, App State falls to Georgia Southern 62-48. And the number 1 team in the Sun Belt is roaring on as they head to Marshall to conclude their season in the fight for the number 1 seed. From myself, Will Battershell, and Noah Roberson, this has been a presentation of App State women's basketball on 90.5 WASU. And before we sign off, I just want to say how much of an honor it's been to be able to call these women's games on 90.5 WASU. Even if the season hasn't been the greatest, it's still been super exciting basketball to watch. So thank you to everybody that listens, and go Mountaineers.
Yeah, it's been an honor to call games with you as well, Will, and hopefully there's more basketball in the near future.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see how you progress throughout the next couple years of your career here at App State, because I think there's a lot of potential that you have, and I'm excited to see where you go. So, yeah, with that, that was Will Battershell and Noah Roberson here on 90.5 WASU. make sure you tune back in Friday at 6:30 for App State versus ODU, where Blake Farrow and Isaac Edwards will be calling the game.